So we want to establish a line and a boundary and clear cut expectations for the current viewers, for the new viewers, for us as we operate this. And something that we are actively talking about is just like how we're developing spiritually, and something that we both understand and adopt and want to adopt into our lives is how the Bible talks about denying yourself for the sake of God in your life here on earth. And so we want to do that with this podcast. Neither of us have felt the urge to stop anything anytime soon or put a pause on anything. We really have the ability to exercise our purpose through this medium, and we're really excited to keep doing that. But we want to begin seriously taking it serious. The podcast. Right. So, just some words that I wrote down while I was working one day that I wanted to that I then brought back and we talked to Chris. For Henry, for me, this podcast to me is now a part of my walk with God. It's God's podcast. We're ambassadors for God, the Scripture, and truth. As we grow in our spiritual walk, our podcast grows with that. I want to build a community of people like us who want to grow in their spiritual walk, and in doing so, grow in finances, relationship, health, because we are to be stewards of those things. So basically, the idea behind that is that we are in a place in life, like just where we are, and we're sharing our growth as we go about it, and like that kind of being based spiritually and prioritizing the spiritual side of things, which is like, reading the Bible, praying, like focusing on the relationship with God. Then those other areas become almost natural to grow in, with health, with relationships, with finances, like the way we walk and the way we do things. And that kind of being the purpose of the podcast is to like grow ourselves, but also share that growth as we live with you guys, not in a position where we are the authority, like this is how you do it, like this is the steps, this is how you get rich quick, this is how you get 6-pack in 6 months or whatever, like all these
3 days,
all these quick dopamine hits, or these people who are trying to seem like they are the experts. We want to establish a knowledge base, but not so much to where it's like, oh, we're your authority in this space. Like we're equals. This is like a conversation. This is a life experience sharing. So that's something that Chris and I are developing to where we can, have that be our content and breathe and be the brand of the Young Bucks podcast.
Yeah, I just think the number one thing is like relatability, because I feel like in the past, and like we talked about this, like we come across, like as you mentioned, I'm kind of going to dumb it down because sometimes I don't understand the big words you use, even though they're not big at all. Like we want it to be as if we are all the same. Like, because we are learning and expressing what we're learning through the podcast, not this is how we live our life, this is how you should live yours, Like, it's not like this is the only way to do things. This is like, if you don't believe like what we believe, then like we hate you and you should leave. Like, we want it to be a community that, I mean, if I'm being honest, a community that differentiates in a way.
You didn't even say the word right. Differentiates.
Yeah, that. Like in a way, we don't want to all think the same way.
there's no one way to do everything, but there is one place to start with that, with life and with growing and with improving.
I felt like you were gonna like bring a quote right after you said that, like as
Nah,
Woodrow Wilson says best.
we are all people. We are all equals. So like, there's no reason to treat it like it's different. It doesn't matter if we have 150 subscribers or we have 150,000 subscribers. Like, at the end of the day, we're just operating as people, and we want to share that. And that's our idea behind growing this.
Yeah, like we're not like, I don't want to say like religious freaks. Like we're not superstitious religious like these like concealed balls
Nerds.
that, yeah, like nerds. Like we're just two humans that are like trying to do what we feel that God has called us to do.
We could be overthinking it, but I don't think it can be overstated.
No. I just like, we just want, like, this is just like a little intro. Over the next couple months, we're going to be trying to just like,
I guess just explore different ways to
do that. Try to build
execute that
foundation.
content. Yeah. Because that's kind of like, we're reflecting back on like, well, what have the last 80 episodes been? They've really just been Chris and I growing as people, and it just kind of showing on a camera.